What's up, guys? It is only Alex, and today we are playing Tiny Bunnie. Tiny Bunnie is an indie game, and I'm assuming it's a good time for indie games because, this is actually one of the highest rated games on Steam currently. So, this is a visual novel, but it's a visual novel where my choices decide what happens, and they have an effect. And the effect will be something. I don't know. Something's gonna happen if I choose the wrong things. So let's get into this. I heard about this from a random YouTuber, saw that they were gonna play it, so I decided I'd play it too. Didn't watch the full thing. But, so, I'm assuming that it's a horror game. It's a little scary story game. The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast, an endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing. Hold up. I didn't know there was voices, but okay. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows. They would occasionally creep up close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest. In the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There is nobody behind the crooked trees. I have autoplay on. Is it just me or is a fox getting more detailed? Fuzzy silhouettes swayed in the wind and couldn't possibly do any harm. It's like the fox design keeps getting more detailed. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. See? Fox. Okay, hold up. So we've got a girl eating cookies, drinking tea, eating lunch. What looks like porridge? I don't know. Kid with glasses with a book. That you might get some food on that book, but also leaning over to read a book can hurt your posture. I found out. Mom, some pictures, a note that says 7, radio, lock. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are, see? Okay, now... I like that noise. Hopefully I don't make too many bad decisions. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Ollie had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. You're not going anywhere till you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was trying to drill a hole into the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Let's go, I was right. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, owing to the previous sleepless night. The black forest around her house and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. Ayo. It looked like a jellyfish from the Costello Odyssey. I love that show. Hope I didn't butcher that too bad. I would wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. It's actually pretty bad. Hold up, let me turn off autoplay for this one. I heard that, we've only discovered like a small percentage of the ocean, and if you look it up, there's some pretty creepy, crazy things in the bottom of the ocean. So, yeah. Or how cold the black forest at night is at night. Well, that's why it's called a black forest. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. She seems like she's not in a happy marriage or something. Like, why are you so mad, bro? What did I just say? He dropped his spoon, lady. Chill your chill. I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this? Carved on the other side of the table. Karina. Is that the mom's name? Also, that doesn't look like Karina. What's the dog doing? Karina. Ha, that's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. Imagine her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed where Alia sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Taga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you when you're in need. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground, and that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. There were times without emanating screams until late at night without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember, damn, so I was right there. She is in an unhappy relationship. I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. Damn! They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She already bought a casket. She called it her cute funeral box. I waited for its time in the closet patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat-colored material on the side. I saw when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures of the faces of my ancestors. They were all dead, but they all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from underneath the table. Alia was done with the cookies and was looking at my chair with a sly woodland creature. I turned my gaze towards the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of a frost formed on a picture on the glass. Alia, look, it's a fox. Where? Almost look like these optical illusion thingies they put on the back of student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little and look under a certain angle. Not outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose, and here's... Hey, eat up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is, but it still doesn't look like one. Then how do you know it is? I'm telling you it does. Nuh-uh. It does. Stop it. These kids, I swear. If you didn't want kids, you shouldn't have, Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty pattern similar to stretched out nettle leaves kept creeping up on the glass. Damn, he looks mad. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Nah, beards are pretty uncomfortable. Like, they're hard to take care of, get food in them. If you want to, like lean your face against somebody, it can sting or, tickle a little bit. And, but if you want, you can. Mom would always ask jokingly, come on, shave it off. It stings, see? That was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and woody comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Alia always covered her ears whenever she hears something like, what's the point in all this, through the wall. It's all for your sake, Dad would reply, for the sake of our family. I always cut every sound in fear of the most deadliest word that started with a D. D-I-V-O. I didn't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my window. You and your owl will talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, maybe not. You're a grown man, father of two, and still. Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already. And the owl? There was no owl. But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Alia sprang up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a crap. Alia sprang up from the chair and placed her hand on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had bye in your closet, now this. Thank you, bye-bye. In Slavic folklore, a nocturnal spirit used by parents to threaten their ill-behaving children. Thank you, I really appreciate it. But I saw it. Alia shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Alia pounded her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Why do you look like that? You look... Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing the keys he just found. A minute had passed, and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on an incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects, by gluing them back together, for example. He's about to say something really deep about wishing he could do that with his mom and dad. But how do you fix a relationship? I called it. Mom moved to the living room and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances out the window. Oh no. Alia had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn and curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump out in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped her to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parent. Oh my god. And then Alia said she saw the giant flying monster outside her window, and she became obsessed with it. Her parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Alia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. Fat Pat, you're okay, bro. What's the dog doing? Alia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. Sorry, I zoned out and probably said something. After tonight, I was unsure to what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There are a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. That's funny. I just had the end of my trimesters, and I'm gonna pretty much have a lot of free time on my hands, so I'm gonna be recording a lot more over the summer, I think. I don't know. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to the classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they get up on me and beat me down, stomp on me with their bloody shoes? Damn, what are you watching? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see new people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of new offensive names for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Alia begged me to hang them. Drawings was the only thing that made me happy as of late. Good for you. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You got the wrong number," or "Anton is not around. Anton is not around." I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of the invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear them when he was little. Now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet. My mom, slay, bro. The house creaked, pressed by wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mobbled with a TV set from behind the wall, and cried like a baby from the next family next door. Reading aloud is not my strong suit. I'm reading fast, and I spent all this time practicing. Hold up, give me a minute. Let me collect myself. Oh. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my diseased family, not deceased. Sorry, I was thinking about myself. With their ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. Okay, I'm rushing myself again. Just listen to music for a minute. Okay. The floor was squeaking. Rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized, in fact, hearing music. I was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the end of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, like of the creaking old house, in my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to assure myself that the music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there, amidst the cold snowy night, right? What in the Narnia, bro? Look at them, getting sturdy. What the dog doing, bro? What the heck? Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled over, and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but those were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circling around and holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment, then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly the music had stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place and, I could swear, pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints on it until it was devoured by the pitch-black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like a bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards the bed. They saw me, and a freezing torrent of fear washed over me. Hold up. I'm out of breath because I read too fast. I literally worked so hard to make it so I could read aloud for the... Hold up. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guest move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into bed and covered myself with blankets as if they could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remember the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagine these little creatures coming up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny feet down. Give me a second, chat. I just need to catch my breath. I don't know what happened. I'm back, nerds. Okay, so then her wrinkly eyeballs would once... Hold up. My laptop unplugged. Okay. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying under the hold up, what? And now, lying under the blanket, listening to the squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Bunnie, underneath a blemished sun, in the sun of color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay lard and ashen hair for the spawn from the devil's lair, to feast and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Antone. Evil leave this house must, ashes, ashes, dust to dust. You're gonna burn with the rest of us, sorry. That's a little song reference. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw Curvins waving around like hangmen. And then that night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched on my eardrums. In reality, something or someone was scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at the wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the house forest intently as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged up my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then... shite. Okay, my guess, it's gonna be one of the parents, and they're gonna be like, why the hell are you chanting so goddamn loudly at 3 in the morning? Then it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped for fear. My wet fingers clutched the bell. Why are they wet? Shite. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. Or maybe it'll be a dream. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. Tony. It's as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. Ah, crap. I was trembling and snailed by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the giving back hold. Tony. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, you asleep? My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I was right. I almost screamed from relief. Olya? I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olya frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hit somewhere in my stomach. I need to calm Olya down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's gonna... Anton, I swear to God, you just had something that wasn't a dream happen to you that was scary, and yet you're gonna act like it was a dream to your sister? Oh my lord, you son of a biscuit. Olya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me, but was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have the scary bird? I don't know, because birds like you. The question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. Let's watch Tangled then. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? Is that an eye back there? I'm gonna decide it's not. The darkness clinging to the window. I couldn't be fooled by Grandma's all chance. I couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard and long ashen hair. Tony, you coming? Yes, just a moment. Screw that! Screw that! Screw that! Literally screw that! Literally screw it! Dog water, I literally hate you! I literally hate you! Oh my god! Why did I say dog water? That's such a Fortnite insult. I just say it as a joke and now it's... delicious. I'm being eaten. The animations, that's amazing. So it was a dream. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Alia and her owl in the morning. Oh, that was a recap of last night. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? Me. It's me. We don't know anyone around here. Am I able to head back to the jump scare? I want to like screenshot that. So persistent. Can I head back? Can I go back? Hold up. Okay, so I think it's FN F12. Okay, perfect. That'll be my thumbnail. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Alia and her owl in the morning. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. It's so persistent. I felt extremely unsettled from just a silly thought that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. Sorry, speeding up. My mind was urging me to hide. Okay, I need to talk louder. Remembering. In the closet. Under the table. Dang. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Behind the curtains where Alia always hides. Tony, come here. I felt like the kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them towards the hallway. Oh my lord. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. No, he had a cat! He had a cat! There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. As he should, bro. As he should. You sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window? That's right. Your windows look straight into the forest, don't they? The window. No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway and the stairway and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? He's gonna have a Boston accent for some reason. Bit by bit. It's just that our little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Has the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything's alright, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes, my head starting spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles I had. Always engrossed to reading those mystery novels. Told me told me he wants to enroll in a police school when his family visited this summer. Wanted to help other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home, stay away from trouble. These times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade is you? Okay, I'm gonna have to change it if this is gonna be a Boston accent. What grade is you in, Tony boy? 6th. Have you made any friends here so far? Oh! Ouch! Ooh, damn! Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Ah, then. I'll leave you my numbers, just in case. Call me if you have any new info. I'm sorry for that ass of an accent. The use thing was from a YouTuber I watch. The policemen were gone with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne, and a photo of a smiling boy. No, why would they leave you with the photo? Because the photo they need to ask other people, so how do we know those are real people? Okay, you know what? I'll shut up, okay, I'll shut up. How long have I been streaming? 36 minutes. His face still stored before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other, like they always do, and forget about me eventually? That would probably seem what would happen. Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. I looked out the window, at the road. The police, a Soviet and Russian off-road freight passenger car brand, which was produced on the hold up. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. The police UAV drove off toward the village. So this is in Russia. Hold up. I'm not going to try to do a Russian accent. The police's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off wood paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the... fuck. Sorry, I can't say that word. Sorry. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. Your average boys and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. A series of contemporary Russian original or translated teen mystery books. They looked for clues, spied on some suspicious people, which is actually illegal, kids. So if you go around trying to find people, you are going to go down in the history books as another white kid who ended up dying because they couldn't keep their nose in their business to themselves and ended up dying because of it. What are you gonna do next? Investigate the noise? Send the person of color after it before you so they die first? Like, what are you gonna do, bro? What are you gonna do? And after a set of amazing adventures, bam, solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents proud. Aww. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest, and then it clicked in my head. No! Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Maybe I'll find the lost boy. No, you're gonna get stuck into it. People are gonna think you did it, and then you're gonna be screwed. And I'll get a reward. Ollie will be so happy. No, your only reward will be death, my lad, bro. Not only Ollie, Mom and Dad, too. Maybe we'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Ollie a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. Aww. And a whole bunch of box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents brought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. Accountant, a song by an all-female Soviet pop band by the name of Combination that was widely popular in the early 90s. I had little to no idea what the accountant's job was like. They count money, I think. Money neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had any money to avoid sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Alia. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. Aw. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. Oh my lordy lord. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? This forest is so thick. What if a boy got snatched up by wild animals or something worse? Even worse, echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your school bag or play with Alia. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over. Mom had the last word. Okay, I'm going to save. Okay, so I'm gonna get yelled at. Maybe there's something in here. Dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the new, freshly sharpened axe. Even Alia can't be lured close to it. She thinks Babby is living in there. Babe? Okay, nocturnal play. Okay, sorry, I forgot. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she would see in there nothing but cobwebs, dyed tools, and scratched walls, but she didn't believe me. I like to hide in the closet and listen to Alia's count outside. 1, 2, 3. Better hide from me. Oh, that's creepy. And then drag her feet on the creepy floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. Can't I grab the sharpened axe? Mom's peg top, a family relic. My mom played with it when she was little and then gifted it to me. Alia was the next in succession line. The toy belonged to her now. She stared at the dancing spindle as if it could show her something. A fairy tale, or maybe even our future. Now even my little sister was a bit too old for the old squeaky peg top. The cross had seen so many people come and go in this house. It was black as if it absorbed all human sin from the long years it was hanging under the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as her lucky charm, but she caught herself with the cross's sharp corner and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in its rightful place. My parents prohibit me from making long-distance calls, but from time to time I really want to hear my old friends. Sometimes I would just pick up the phone and listen to the low hum of the zoomer and the distant crackling, imagining the wind howling and the ice leaden cords. The decrepit and stain-covered calendar was once my favorite form of entertainment in my grandma's house. I remember waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in the taiga forest without my help. One day closer to New Year's, one day closer to Grandma's funeral. I haven't touched the calendar for years now. Since the time they started writing dark and spooky death chants that only made me gloomy instead of funny proverbs and superstitions to be exact. I grabbed a dusty calendar leaf with caution and tore it off effortlessly. Sadly, the spooky descriptions from my childhood were still there. 7 horses can't carry the log. If 7 can't carry, bring the 8th from a fairy. They will take it away and never come back. This is the fate the log cannot escape. I crumpled the gray leaf and threw it into the waistband, hoping to get rid of the anxiousness that washed over me. It was spreading inside me like a ink stain on a blotting paper. The side of the ocean freezer was checkered with my childish drawings, Mom's receipts, and all kinds of stickers from bubblegum with dinosaurs that Alia liked so much. Among that still life picture hung a piece of ruled paper with the phone number of the police officer who visited us. First Lieutenant Tick. I'm so sorry I'm ruining all of your guys' with it. Okay. Tikhonov. I read inside my head looking at the officer's sprawled handwriting. A scrap of paper was held by 2 pieces of a broken magnet with some old Soviet toy, and these pieces just barely covered up the numbers as if to taunt me. I leaned forward to unveil the mystery and take the piece to a safer place where it would wait for its time when I finally found Volva and be the first to call the police with the happy news. Anton! Mom's reproachful eyes stared at me. What do you need it for? Hands off. You'll lose it. Angering my mom was the last thing I wanted, so I lowered my hand. Amercom of Russia has declared the state of emergency due to adverse weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, a cyclone is moving towards the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snowdrifts on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. I did get a peek at Mom's crossword. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice, so me and Dad faked knowing the answer and being about to reveal it all the time. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice, so me and Dad faked knowing the answer and being about to reveal it all the time. I smiled at the fleeting thought. Vertical, 9 letters, the name of the Philistine deity that protected them from viper bites and had the nickname the Lord of Flies. Second letter is E. The Lord of the Flies. It was difficult to lie to Mom that there's no other way for me to run away from home. Mom, something's wrong with the TV. The pictures tip and there's stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. You're killing me here, so have you had enough of shooting these stupid ducks now? What? Told you the kinescope would go dim because of your console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings. Please, go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine in the morning. Maybe it's the snowfall caused it? Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Alia's room. You received the policeman's phone number. I can't remember this. Grandma kept ice cream for me and Alia there, but now I can only see meat biscuit soup clumped together in a pelly meanie. I grew to hate it.
Машина, в которой он находился, была обстреляна неизвестными вооруженными лицами.
I don't speak Russian.
Это просто, Леня. АО ММР.
I'm screwed, man. I opened the front gate. Hold up. I opened the front gate and went in the field carefully so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance towards the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. I remember my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. The hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there, distance ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling on the snow alongside me, and a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent, so silent I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Alia. The time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended in the forest piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing. Both me and Alia turned to stone, listening to them, but then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb a couple days before we departed. But, I'm trying to remember, okay. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around laughing and spent time together, almost like it was all part of our previous life. When they kissed with Alia present, she would always frown and snorted in a funny way, but one day it all changed. Something important had left our home. Something scary filled the remaining void. It's as if a fire broke up, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes who sometimes visited us in our previous home. The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything. That only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything. And sometimes the faraway sun was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. What? There was only me, the white field and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powder around me. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under their snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and the coniferous needles froze into the ice. Were they protecting the forest, or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from the pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in the snow, but when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? The senior police looked gloomy, but still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Street of Broken Lights. A Russian mystery TV series telling the story of the daily life of a Russian police officer. It was the longest running series in the history of the Russian TV at the moment. He was always so anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find that lost boy? Vova! I heard a distant shout, looked like it came from the river. Vova! As if the trees were calling out to somebody. Vova resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Vova! I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about the figure. I'm rushing again. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground, its blackness. There was no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. What the heck? The shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a minute, but when I turned my back to the same place, it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. Muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little moment, any whisper from the thick, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Oh no, I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Vova. A shout roamed across the field and dissolved in the distance. No hope for a reply. I'm screwed, aren't I? I'm screwed, aren't I? I'm screwed, aren't I? It's gonna be a jump scare. I stepped across the brush of the trees and tried to claim my find. It didn't budge. I pulled harder, the branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing my hand with a squishy sound, all too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. At first I was studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches evaded the silence. I didn't think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me through the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one of reason. It gave me strength and spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. I felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts, rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings slapping above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing, a hoot, a wheeze. The roars are coming from all directions now, from the dried-up raspberry bush, from twisted pines, from under the waterfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. I felt like I was inside a nightmare, the snowy clear becoming vicious like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my life from the mushy track to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with each desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? Oh yeah, I've had this happen. Not being chased by a bunch of people while holding a bloody mitten in my hand, but, getting my foot stuck. I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Something or someone in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boots slipped out of the hole. My soles were on hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump, and from there ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. The house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and creatures they were hidden under the snow. I trapped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the red claw marks, as if a dog striking the wood with its paws to mangle it in so I could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed those marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it obediently gave way. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it into place. I got on my knees and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it behind the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the edge of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom, peeking out of the kitchen, chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you to never slam the door? I didn't mean to. I snuck against the door. The smell was gone. Their breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course not. I don't know. Here, mere 5 meters away from my mom, I fear they're slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring. And here, with a little last breath of dread, I had left my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and I wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was something chasing me. I thought. I started as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffed my toes, closed like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked at the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant and she covered her mouth with her hand. Look over there, at the fence. My heart started thumping as I became curious again. My pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear I could hear someone scratching at the door, just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her finger, and all I gathered my remaining bravery to look in the kitchen window, facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in the snow, the icy patterns in the glass. Dogs! Just a small pack of strays with no name and no order, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me like a bunny. And what if they're rabid? The smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attack Olya? Mom, I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Mom, look, they're alive, huh? What? Are they your friends or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom said in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my eyes on the cobweb right in the corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, what about the mitten you grabbed, my guy? What about the mitten that you risked your freaking life for? Okay. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And for what? What use do I have for this mitten? Of course, a dark and sticky mitten. There it is. Thank you. I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Mom, look, this is Volva's mittens, the boy they were asking about. The police. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on a tree. I can show it where. Let's call the police right away, like the office told us to. Mom, look. Ew. A shadow of doubt slowly crept into Mom's contorted face. She was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the image slips away. Stop at this moment. Olin will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and it whines all the time, and you joke around it like this. At the moment, I realized the mitten was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, cried Wolf. Don't just stare there. Come here, take your pill. It's a golden-colored pill that reminiscent of a dead wasp fell into my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home, and you... Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on. Take care, you won't be able to sleep at night, and you'll have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with the similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Volva's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all, just like the forest monsters and Ollie's owl. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect on my overexerted brain, which didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing Yanni and indifference along with it. Anton, you done? See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was just thinking. What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes. as if she wasn't sure. She's just looking at her own song and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? You had the exact same expression when the police asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva in my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Alia was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switched to the other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes. Stopped before the sink and studied my reflection in the mirror like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. Then I went upstairs. Jafar's and Lago's voices died down. I walked past Alia's bedroom and slipped into my own. Monsters, Ghosts, and UFOs. The Encyclopedia of Paranormal Phenomenon from Roseman Publishing. I learned about the Loch Ness Monster, Medusa, Gorgon, and Bigfoot from there. Alia was always scared of the book. She could barely handle sifting through the monster and alien sections with me, but the middle part where they start to talk about ghosts really freaked her out. I even remember hunting ghosts after I read the book. I measured the difference between items on my table every evening and checked if they moved due to some supernatural force. Come morning, they didn't. But to be honest, what was I expecting? To meet Casper the Ghost? My Triceratops figurine. I know about all sorts of dinosaurs. Velociraptors. Afrovenators. Dang, I can't read those. My dyslexia is gonna kill me. I remember going to the movies to see Jurassic Park when we still lived in the city, taking pictures of the T-Rex in the hall. It turned its head and roared. It was awesome. And next to it was the Robotech Transformer. I love this cartoon. When a jet fighter speeds up to the intro, in the intro, among the sounds of blaster fire, you know your next 20 minutes will be surely amazing. Then, I don't know, space station is captured. Rick, get ready for battle. You know what, I'll save here, and I think I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I will make another part of this in a minute, but I will see you in the next video. Bye.